This is Preachers of LA Season 2, Episode 8, My Brother's Keeper. Like to start out by saying, Pimp Daddy Pastor, aside the stuff that I've read about you being in strip clubs, aside the other ladies that I've alleged to have sex with and other children that are alleged in the news, you have this woman that you have been with for 17 years. And I'm beginning to see why. She tells you she wants you to throw her a party. This is amazing. Pimp Daddy Pastor. She says, I want him to do something meaningful for me. So I've been thinking I want to do something. So I want you to throw me a party. Then she says, I want to be responsible for the cake. I want to be responsible for the flowers. I want to be responsible for the arrangements. And I want to be responsible for the gift that we go and get for me. I'm thinking, you want to be responsible for paying for this? You want Pastor Pimp Daddy to marry you, Sister Side. Not gonna happen. Anytime a man waits 17 years and then on the 17th year of your birthday he tells you, I trust you. He trusts you to do exactly what you're doing now. Be you. And that's not marriage material. Not for any true man. Even for Pastor Pimp Daddy. I'm sure you can see that. I would not marry you, my sister, if you were the last sister on the planet. I'd probably hit it. You are pathetic, arrogant, and evil. What trips me out though, he says, you got enough rings. That's a hint, mama, you ain't getting no more. You go to the poetry. Oh, my love, have I been so long with you? I mean, come on, brother. Smooth as silk. You're smooth with your congregation, you're smooth with your woman, you're smooth with society. You just smooth it over. And it's just no problem with you. I like that, but you are wrong. Pastor Mama's baby, your wife sits you down and she says to you, right off the top, it's been like 3 weeks. That's all she had to say to me. You know what that means? Your mama been there too long. When is she going to leave? I believe your wife has been very cordial. I think she's a dynamic woman. I think she's too much for you. I think that you act like a man, but you don't. You talk like you think you're a man, but you're not. I can see that just between you and your wife, unless you're faking this as is on TV. You want to play games with your wife? She's sitting there asking you man-woman questions about what are we doing with this situation. If we don't nip it in the bud where it originated, which is there's something else with the family that has to be done, if that problem is not resolved, this is going to continue. And if it continues, how long is she going to be in my house? Unless we tackle that, we're going to have her in our home for a long time. So what are we going to do? You start asking her, well, what if she was here for like 2 weeks? And then what if she was here and she's telling you, I don't have a problem with that. I'm trying to find out what your plan is. You're still speaking silly to your wife. Well, what if she was here for like 6 months? What relevancy does that have to what your wife is asking you? What is your plan to resolving this situation? And after she's explained it to you with some clarity so that your fickle mind can understand it, then you act like you own it. You say, okay, yeah, you're right. She says, well, okay, you want me to call and set up an appointment? And you say, well, I got this. Like you flexing the little muscles you got. You have no muscles when you're not taking care of home. And the only thing you can think about is the scheduling an appointment for sex. My brother, if you have to schedule an appointment for sex, there is another problem. In your home, with your sex life, with your physical relationship with your wife. You're not doing something. You're not attentive to something. You are so busy. And this is the problem I have with a few of you preachers of LA. You have all of these issues at home compounding themselves daily over time And you've been pastoring for so long, and those problems at home have not been taken care of. How can you honestly stand before the presence of God and before the people of God as a pastor and say that you're pastoring them and you can't take care of your business at home? I'm astonished at the many years that have gone by as you guys have pastored over those years, that these problems have escalated, and then you start to deal with it, and now it's on TV. This is overwhelming to me. Do you understand? I am confused as to what's real. Yeah, man, okay, look, far be it from me to be judgmental, but you have it on TV. You're presenting it as a true story. What am I supposed to believe? You said it was a true story. It's about the preachers of LA, their real lifestyles and how they live. And in my mind, that is an abomination to God. Not real preachers. You can't continue to do something wrong and then continue to do it knowing you're doing it. And that is wrong. You act like you're really professional. If she was here like another week or two, would that be a problem? Come on, my brother, wake up. Don't talk to your wife like she's foolish. She's trying to compose herself and doing a very good job of it because that camera is on. Otherwise, I think she would have told you something different. My goodness, you continue to tickle me, Pastor. Yes, right, that's right. And I'm doing a diagnostic right now. Yeah, you didn't do a diagnostic when you automatically accused your brother of being wrong and then moved your mama into your wife's house without her permission. How many diagnostics did you not do on 3 different occasions? Even now, you don't have enough proof about things and you're talking with your wife trying to get information. Your diagnostic principles are not very good, Pastor's mama, baby. You're not very good at it. You're not very good at it. Okay? You go by to see your brother and you say to us, yeah, I want to find out, what really happened. And you get over there and you don't let the man speak. You sound like a little girl. I don't get that. But okay, that's why I call you Pastor's mama's baby. That's what you are, a mama's baby. Your brother's more of a man. Well, let me take that back, because if he was a man, he wouldn't be in your mama's house. I don't agree with the brother being in your mama's house, but okay, you guys are sitting there talking to each other like that's not your mama. Pointing at you, talking about your mama this. I mean, you might as well be in a sigging contest with each other. Your mama so fat this and your mama so ugly this. It's not your mama, it's your mother. Both of y'all's mother. I can't get that. That leads me to think that there is, of course, a deeper problem. Unless you deal with that problem, it's not going to be reconciled. And in this point, you guys are not reconciled. You guys have placated the whole thing, call yourself putting it behind you, and in putting it behind you, you put it beside you. Now they're back in the house. He's not growing up as a man. No one spoke about him getting his own place so he can be a man. I don't even know what's going on with all that. So yes, there are some things going on. There is some problems with the family, and this did not solve them. It solved them for TV. We'll find out next week. How would she feel that would help you? You already know how she would feel. She's asking you, she's been here 3 weeks already. You're going to ask her how would she feel if your mom was there 3 to 6 months? Come on, my brother. You already know how your wife would feel. That's why you're not getting no sex now. You don't know how your wife is feeling. That's why you're not getting sex. You're going to ask her, how would you feel? You're married to the woman. She's asking you, saying the woman been here 3 weeks. I mean, darn. You don't get that? How she feel? You don't know how she feel. That's why you're not getting sex. And all of a sudden you want to try to act like a man. Oh, I'm with you 100%. I've got this. You're right. Such an intelligent wife. Beautiful too, I might add. I don't know that you deserve this woman. But obviously you guys are together and something's doing something. Someone's happy with something. Curious to see how long that's going to last, Pastor. You know what's really funny about that? A few episodes back, your brother said, maybe we need to sit down and talk about this. Told you what to do. He's more of a man. He's more conscious of what's going on than you are. I mean, he's trying to explain to you something and you're not listening. He told you off the top, let's sit down and talk about this, and you're not doing it. You haven't done it. Now you want to go back and talk about it, but you're not letting him talk. You're talking. You're still not getting his side of the story because you have a big mouth. You're the big pastor. You know everything, and you don't know nothing because you haven't let him tell you anything. And you still think that you've resolved this situation. The problem lingers, my brother pastor. Your wife asks you again, have you even talked to your brother after you put him out of your party for, number one, illegally accusing him? Have you talked to him? She asked you. You never answered her. I don't get that. You can't handle your family. How can you pastor 50, 100, 200, 10,000 people? Is this why our church is so rampant and confused and overwhelmed with jealousy, envy, strife, lust? Is this the reason, Pastor? You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on with much of anything. You don't even know what's going on in your wife's bedroom. You got to schedule an appointment for sex. Think about it. Sister said, I didn't want to interrupt your flow, but you did want to interrupt his flow. That's exactly what you did. You came in there, you knew he was working out, and you interrupted his flow. I imagine the cameras were in there, and that's where they wanted you to come in and interrupt the flow. So why say, I interrupt your flow? It was all set for you to interrupt his flow. He stopped the flow, and you don't go and interrupt the man doing his workout. You had the cameras there. It was all set up. So you decided to do the set in the workout room. Your husband is there, look like he working out. You come in, say something stupid like, I didn't mean to interrupt your flow, when you walked in there knowing consciously he working out. But not knowing consciously he working out, knowing consciously that the cameras were there. I mean, this is getting to be a little ridiculous. If you're going to be real, let it be real. Put the cameras in there, and no cameras, no directors, no people. Just mount the camera. We'll get the real deal then. Pastor Glock, I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing something with Lawrence, and that's a good indication that there's something going on in the ministry. That's the kind of thing we like to see when you talk about church. We talk about God's work. A young man's in prison. You're helping him get his life together. These are the kinds of things that I can see fruit of. It's magnificent that you've taken the time to do that. I'd like to see more of that. Again, find the man his position. He's loving what he's doing. Keep him out of trouble. Just the right thing to do. I have no problem with that kind of work. As long as that kind of work is going on, then that's dynamic. But then when you have an individual who has so many problems in their own home, how can they attend to anyone else's problems? They haven't even attended to problems at home. So, this is a great thing. I have nothing bad to say about that. Keep the brother off the streets. Keep him in church. Keep him understanding truth. Keep him understanding wisdom. Keep him understanding right and wrong. And let him make his decisions based on what he's learned from his past and what you teach him and what he is to learn from the right way to live his life. And he can make his choice based on the choice that makes sense. He has a better environment to choose from. You're doing a great thing, Pastor Glock. I appreciate that. So, yeah. There's a chance that he could get caught back up into that. But then that was that way when he went in the first place. It doesn't really matter. Peer pressure is going to be there. Your family and friends are going to be there. If you want to be a doctor, you need to hang around doctors. Okay, if you want to be a lawyer, you hang around lawyers. If you hang around gay people, then you're going to be doing the gay thing. So if you want something, you have to hang around that. So if he doesn't want to be in that, he has to disassociate himself from that. And then he has to associate himself with, the music game. He has to associate himself with, the instrument panel. He has to learn and put his time into that. Because if he takes his time and spends it into that, he's going to be a part of that. There's no question about it. So it's not so much as, whether he's going to be right or not. It's about his environment. And that's a good thing. You're putting him in a church. You're putting him around his love, engineering, doing something with music, sound. That's a great thing, Pastor. I love this. This is good. Good work. I'm the Reverend Point Blank. We'll see you next week. Have a good day.